Hey everybody, Chief Tim here, just talking about the final hygiene checklist item that I have. Obviously, I'll be updating this checklist as I run into things that I think will help you with your personal cyber hygiene and your residential cyber hygiene. And how you get to my checklist is you go to chiefcybersolutions.net and then click on the free cyber hygiene checklist. So we're going to look at number 7 here, check accounting. So this was kind of like the final thing I realized I needed to do on occasion to ensure my cyber hygiene is as robust as possible. So the first and foremost is inventory your accounts. Recently, I've gone through this exercise in my personal life and realizing that I need to go out and look at see if I have a PayPal account, a Cash App account, a Venmo account, obviously my credit union accounts. I've got bank accounts. I've got Amazon account, and stretching into where I pay money into my subscriptions, like I talked about in number 6. I'll just go through and go through the accounting of your account and just write them down. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. I created a spreadsheet and I actually created a name of the account and then a link to where it's at. That's all I did on my spreadsheet. And I went in there and made sure that I knew in my brain, where my accounts were. And and I realized out there, I had some accounts out there I never used, like PayPal. I mean, PayPal's a strong, good, secure account to manage money and make payments on. But I just never used it, and I still had my bank account linked to it, and that was dangerous. And so I made sure that I went in there after my inventory of it, and I sat down and went through and disconnected that link and closed that account. I didn't need it anymore. And I put in there on step 2 for utilities and subscriptions. Obviously, on that, I go in and look at my gas account, all these different accounts that just making an inventory of it. And after having that strong inventory, closing out the ones that I didn't need anymore. I went into my personal calendar and I mentioned this in the subscription one. Go into your personal calendar and then put in there your payment due dates. There's nothing wrong with creating a calendar event that says, hey, the gas bill is going to come out on this date every month, or hey, I'm going to pay my Amazon accounts due on this day of the month. There's nothing wrong with doing that in your personal calendar, because then it'll remind you and then you'll never be late. Review your charities and donations. Go through your charities and donations and make sure that they're not saving your personal information. Like if you donate to a particular charity on a consistent basis, they may hey, do you want us to save your credit card? I hate to say it, but most charities and donation points will do that to make it easier for you to do later, like Red Cross and things like that, Salvation Army. Some churches do that as well. Well, most of them don't have IT departments, right? Or even cybersecurity departments to ensure that those payments or even, what's the word? Where they go through the credit card, I forgot the acronym, but they go through this whole, this accounting inspection and investigation, ensure that they're secure. Most of them don't do that. And so make sure that you're not saving that information on those charities. And then what are your expenses? Go through your work expenses. Maybe you're just like me and I just basically do, an itemized deduction because I own a home. But if you actually go do stuff for work, like drive your car and things like that, make sure you're reviewing those and recording those. And then finally, review your entire spending history. That is boring, right? You go, but I don't know how many times I talked to a friend. I had a friend, and she was like, "I'm like, do you not how do you balance your checkbook?" And that's something that we just don't do anymore. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "How do you know when you got how much money you have?" She's like, "I just go look at my account." Well, if you don't go check your history, you may not see. I don't know how many times I've had to reset my accounts because I've gone in and I took this trip to Sacramento a couple years ago, and I used my card at a gas station, and apparently that gas station was owned. And what I mean by that is that they had card readers installed on top of their card readers. Now, that's a cool story, but they had owned my account because that place was owned. And so I didn't catch it until I saw later that somebody had charged something against my account, and it was closely after I went on that trip. So I narrowed it down to that, and then I did some Googling and found out that that particular gas chain had been owned in California, and that's a big deal in California, and I can bore you with that story later. But I caught it by reviewing my spending history. I went into all my spending history and looked at it and saw it there, and I'm like, what is this weird account for CMA in Taiwan? I'm like, what? I got charged $12 there. And that's what some of these hackers do, is they get your account and then they just make small purchases so that you won't see it. Go through your spending history. I cannot stress that enough. And with that, that's the final check on this checklist, and thank you for taking the time to watch the video. And don't forget, go wash your hands.